beautiful shines. It's Michelle here, and I'm inviting you to wake up and live. And this week, I'm going to talk to you about my meltdown. Tuesday morning, and there's a reason for it, so hold with me. It's not just like, here's what's going on in my life. Tuesday morning, I had this complete meltdown. I was super stressed about things, and my brother was coming over, and it was just like, I just lost it. And I was so angry at everything and everyone. And I was praying. I was like, please help me to feel this. I don't want it to trap. I don't want to trap emotions, right? I've been studying healing and all this kind of stuff for so many years that the idea of trapping emotions was just not even something I wanted to even consider, right? The thought came to me, what if you gave yourself permission to let the feelings get trapped? And what if you just let the feelings be? And I felt this huge energy shift, and I became aware, holy cow, I have been fighting the idea of just letting the feelings kind of be buried for a while I cope with different things, or any of that kind of stuff. I was so afraid of trapping them that I actually was putting myself on fight or flight, fighting that. It was so ridiculous. But we do that. We get so caught up in what we know is right, and the reality is right or wrong is really all about perspective and point of view, right? There are some things that I would say most definitely come down to an eternal truth, but a lot of things are just perspective, including whether or not it's okay to let emotions get trapped. That's a point of view. That's a perspective. And it can be a point of view that actually limits your ability to completely process, to completely just let things be. If we could just get to a point where we are just in each moment and letting it be whatever it wants to be, whether I want to, a part of me says, no, I don't want to deal with that right now, and let it be buried for a while until I'm ready to deal with it, or letting it go through me. Either way, right now, why am I deciding that one way is wrong and the other way is right? The other thing that was similar is this also affected the shoulds, because I shouldn't worry about I was going in this weird battle, okay? My brother coming over set me up. It triggered a whole bunch of things from my past. I'll explain in a second, but there was the I should clean because my brother's coming over. Then there was the part of me that's like, I shouldn't have to clean just because he's coming over. I should be cleaning because my family needs a clean home. And it was all these different shoulds going on, and some of them were conflicting, and letting go of the shoulds actually caused more stress and caused me to beat myself up if I even wanted to should on myself. It was crazy. And a part of that also is a point of view. Whose point of view is it to decide that we should never should on ourselves? Should is definitely a less empowering word than choosing. I choose to clean my home because I enjoy a clean home. Sounds so much better than saying I should clean my home, right? But sometimes we get caught up in this need to get it done right, need to do things right. I need to never should on myself, and oh my gosh, I just shoulded on myself, and all of a sudden we're beating ourselves up, which is more disempowering and more frustrating to our systems than if we would have just shoulded on ourselves in the first place, right? So these are some of the things that I'm dealing with. The interesting thing about my brother coming over is years ago, my brother was living with us at our place for a short period of time. And I had gone somewhere for the day with my mom, and my little girl was, I don't even know if she'd had her second birthday yet. She was pretty young. She was somewhere between 18 months and 2 years old. And my husband kind of ignored her throughout the day. He didn't change her diaper and things like that, which really irked my brother. And my brother yelled at me as if it was my fault that my daughter hadn't been changed, even though I hadn't been home all day. Had I been home, of course, she would have been changed and things like that. So my brother took his anger at my husband out on me and blamed me for things that weren't my fault. Right now, I'm living in a home that is super cluttered and super messy. And it's because my mom couldn't declutter. She wanted to, but she just had so many things preventing her from decluttering, some energy that needed to be cleared up. And then plus add to it the fact that she hasn't been feeling good wasn't feeling good for like the last 4 or so months of her life. She'd been tired for months before that, but like seriously not feeling well at all for the last 4 months. I was, with my broken knee for the last 5 months, and so things in our house, even just like daily chores, have been really being neglected. And I was so afraid of my brother judging me for those things and blaming me for things that were out of my control. And that was getting triggered along with all these shoulds and along with all these fighting emotions. And all this stuff was just building up inside of me, which is why I just needed to let the things be. And when I allowed myself to let those emotions be, that's actually when I was able to become aware of why I was so triggered about my brother coming and why I was so stressful about so many things. I was able to go back in my early childhood when I'd been blamed for things that weren't my fault, do some healing, some deep healing, but I couldn't do that deep healing until I allowed the emotions to be. And that included allowing the shoulds to just be where they were and whatever they were, allowing all of the feelings to just be whatever they were, not fighting myself about like the idea of trapping them, because sometimes the healthy way to cope with a situation is to put the feelings aside for a little while. And it's not like with all my tools and skills that I'm ever actually going to let it trap. And even if it traps, I know how to heal it, right? I know how to clear that stuff out. So it's not really ever going to be a problem for me. And so it's really funny that I got so caught up in this. And how often we do that as people, how often we hear and learn something, and then all of a sudden it becomes so important that we either fight other people or we fight ourselves. I end up kind of in an argument, not a big argument, because I was like, okay, how can I approach this peacefully? But this person said that shoulding is a thinking error, and this was all happening in the same time period, right? This was like Monday and Tuesday, a collective energy that just came to a head. And she was talking about how shoulding is a thing, and when somebody questioned her, are you shoulding on us, telling us that we can't say should? She was like, no, it's a command. And it's like, wait, what? That's just as disempowering to me to command me to never use should, and which just triggers in that inner rebellion, like don't tell me what to do or don't tell me what not to do, which is so not healthy. So all this stuff was happening all at the same time. I think that choosing empowering words and letting go of should can be very powerful, but I think that we get too caught up in trying to get things right. And there is a group of people that ask, what if there was no right or wrong? And the reality is, you ask that question, what if there was no right or wrong? It's not because you're saying that there is no right or wrong in that situation, because there are certain things, like it is wrong to break the law. I mean, like there are certain things that there is a right or wrong, but sometimes we get so much energy caught up in this being right or wrong that it really stifles us. And we get caught up in a perspective of what is right or wrong, a point of view that may not actually be the truth. So questioning that, what if there was no right or wrong? What if it was okay to should on people? Or should on yourself? Don't. I mean, like, to me, that's not okay, but that's my point of view, right? So what if it was okay to say should? And what if it was okay to trap your feelings and bury them deep inside? What if there was no right or wrong about that? And then it allows, when you say that, it allows you to get to a place of just being. And from that place of being, you can then actually make a choice from a place of lightness. Which one brings more lightness to me? And when you get to that point, sometimes maybe saying should would bring more lightness. Sometimes maybe trapping those emotions for a period of time would bring more lightness. But if we get so caught up in it having to be a right or wrong way, we cannot get to that place where we can actually choose from a neutral place. When you get yourself to a neutral place by letting go of the need to be right or wrong, when you get to that neutral place, then you can choose which is lighter. And the one that is lighter is what is truth and right for you. So, I hope that this all makes sense. I know I've kind of been rambling, and it's about time for me to go into physical therapy. I got here a few minutes early, so I did my video before. I love you guys so much. I really hope that there was some coherent thoughts in here that you can take and apply to your life, or at least have some understanding of some things. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being my followers, supporting me through a really difficult time. This April was like the worst month ever for me. And things felt kind of weird, like my mom's not here, and sometimes it hits really hard. And sometimes it feels better because I get to be myself, and sometimes it really hurts, and I'm not needing to shit on myself. I shouldn't feel that way because this, that, and the other. If I can just let go of there's no right or wrong about it. It's okay for me to feel relief that she's not here and that I'm actually getting to take care of some of the things that I wanted to be responsible for. And it's okay for me to feel angry and frustrated that she's not here to help me with some of these things that I don't want to be responsible for. And it's okay to miss her, and it's okay to have happy moments where she's not around. All those things are okay because there's no right or wrong, and I can allow myself to feel and just be with whatever feeling's coming up. I love you guys so much. I've said that before, but I want to say it again. Remember to let your light shine, big, bright, light, and beautiful. And I'll see you guys next time.